Hey, it's Deep Focus. I'm your host, Mitch Goldman. This is part 3 of a program that originally aired on September 5th, 2022. My guest is Graham Haynes. We're talking about and listening to the music of Bill Dixon. And we're going to get into, you'll hear us talking about some upcoming gigs. You might have missed those, but I'm sure there's some great music wherever you are. Get yourself out there and be part of it. That is what this show is all about. And you know what? Look around. You might see one of these great musicians in the audience, because guess what? They're all fans of the music and were before they ever became musicians. They share that with you. So, all right, here we go. It's part 3, September 5, 2022. Graham Haynes on the topic of Bill Dixon. It's Deep Focus. Music from Bill Dixon. That's a recording. I don't know if I gave all the details of that. That was at the Newport Jazz Festival. Same place where it still runs to this day. It was July of 1966. Bill Dixon's trumpet and composer. Ken McIntyre, you may know as Maconda, Ken McIntyre on alto sax and bass clarinet. Lewis Brown, tenor saxophone. Bob Cunningham on the bass. Tom Price on the drums. And the movement of Judith Dunn. And Graham, you made an interesting point off mic that if there's a dancer on stage, that dancer is going to affect how the music sounds, and the music's going to change what the dancer presents. That's going to be a part of it. Let me introduce you again for those who have just joined us. Graham Haynes is my guest, and he's calling our attention to the great trumpeter Bill Dixon on this episode of Deep Focus, hosted by me, Mitch Goldman, on WKCR. And here's a question for you, Graham. I don't know if this has been asked before, but I'm asking now.
Sure.
You and I made reference a bit earlier to one of my many favorite shows that you've done here with me when we did about Miles Davis. And you actually, I always loved Electric Miles, 73, 75, but I don't think I ever quite understood how that music worked until you shed some light on that for me on our Deep Focus that we did.
And I don't remember what I said.
Oh, you said some great stuff. Luckily, I recorded it, and you can hear it on Deep Focus Podcast. You can listen on your phone right now while we're doing the show.
Okay.
But here's my question. Maybe it's because I'm sitting in this same room with you right now. But I'm wondering if you think that Bill Dixon might have had some influence on Miles Davis, in particular in that 70s ensemble that he had. Obviously, this is an acoustic ensemble. That was an electric ensemble, which is what captures everyone's attention about what Miles was doing. But in terms of what he was doing musically, I'm wondering if there's some commonalities in Bill Dixon as a composer and Miles' concept.
Miles' concept in the 70s, 73, 75?
In particular, 70. Yeah.
Well, of course, anything is possible. I think one thing that I do believe is that as a trumpet player, Miles did pick up some things from Jerry as a trumpet player.
Oh, interesting.
During his 60s.
Yeah.
And he may...
When he would do those, like, ascending flurries.
Yeah. You know, he sat in with Ornette when Jerry was in the band.
What?
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Miles sat in with Don and Ornette.
Wow. Where? When?
Probably at the 5 Spot or maybe somewhere else. But there's stories that Miles sat in with that group.
I don't think I've heard them.
Yeah. Miles definitely knew Don. And, Don and Miles knew each other for sure.
Wow.
And Miles listened to Ornette, and
I'm sure.
I don't know that he was like sitting up listening to the records all the time, but he was affected, and he was, and they surely played on a lot of the same bills on some of the festivals. And,
yeah.
But Miles definitely sat in with the group. But that seems to be.
I think that second quintet in particular, the Herbie Rontoni, I think would never have sounded like it did if not for Ornette.
Right. So was he influenced by Bill as a trumpet player as well? Yeah, I think it's quite possible. Now, in terms of how Miles was putting things together with his music, I would say most definitely it's possible. Whether it's likely, I really don't know. I don't know. I'm sure Miles heard a lot of stuff. Heard a lot of music. A lot of the new music from the mid '60s. up until the early 70s, mid 70s, Miles heard a lot of this stuff, and his musicians were playing with some of those people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it's definitely a possibility, and I know Bill used to talk about Miles. Bill's talked to me and talked to us as a group. I remember like, okay, this CD here.
Graham, you're gesturing for this CD that you brought that you're on with Bill Dixon. Tapestries for Small Orchestra.
Okay, so this was a recording that we spent 2 days with Bill, maybe 3 days, but definitely 2 days in the studio. And Bill was talking a lot and telling a lot of stories, and I know he talked about Miles a couple of times, at least, in the course of the 2 days. So Bill was definitely a fan and affected by what Miles was doing, and I'm sure if they played, and it's highly likely that they played some of the same festivals, I'm sure Bill would have heard, Miles would have heard what Bill was doing, and when Bill was playing with Archie and Cecil, and
because I think Bill Dixon gets mentioned in the same breath with the Archie Shepps and Cecil Taylors, but he's responding to some of the same things in the music and in the environment, but he's responding in such a different way. And I wouldn't ask that question, and maybe it's just a bit of conjecture about Cecil Taylor or about Archie Shepp, but hearing the concept as a composer that Bill Dixon's using, pedal points, that evolving energy that we talked about, that kind of wave.
There's an elasticness, elasticity in his composition that is very compelling, that works very well, that a lot of the music of that period didn't have. So when we talk about free music, a lot of the music that comes from that period just doesn't sound like this. It doesn't have that same kind of elasticity and dynamics and space and
Another thing you made reference to earlier was about minimalism, and which can mean a bunch of different things too, but that idea of something moving in a direction and there's one aspect of it that's changing and everything else might be seemingly staying static. It's very it's a very rich kind of approach, and very unusual in that scene as I think of it.
As I think of it too. I've heard quite a bit of music from the period, and Bill was working with something. He had something unique he was working on. I'm sorry that I didn't get enough time. I spent a little time around him, but I didn't get enough time to sit down with him and pick his brain more.
Well, I feel like we're doing that a little bit now. This is a deep focus on the music of Bill Dixon. First time he's been a topic on this show, and I'm great thanks to you, Graham Haynes, for bringing it to my attention and getting to spend some time. This is really a treat for me. And if you don't mind, since you alluded to this album, Tapestries for Small Orchestra, maybe we could let the folks hear a little bit of it. And what might you want? You've talked a bunch about rehearsals and everything. Would you like me to give the personnel? Why
don't you give the personnel? And why don't you choose from that CD? What
I don't know. This album, I'm going right from the top of disc one. It's a 2-disc set. Unlike everything else we've been playing on the show tonight, this one was actually produced and distributed and presumably, hopefully, still available for purchase. It's on Firehouse 12 Records and recorded in Firehouse 12 in New Haven, Connecticut. It came out in 2009. And once again, the title of the album is Tapestries Oh, beautiful, beautiful paintings. It's
that's his
Bill Dixon.
work.
I really like this visual work a lot. Tapestries for Small Orchestra, and the small orchestra in particular on this recording, along with Bill Dixon's trumpet and electronics, Taylor Hobynum, cornet, flugelhorn, bass trumpet, and piccolo trumpet. Graham Muir on cornet, flugelhorn, and electronics. Stephen Haynes, trumpet, cornet, flugelhorn. Rob Mazurek, cornet and electronics. Glynis Loman, violoncello. This is a little difficult to make out. Michel Cote, bass clarinet. And Ken Filiano on double bass and electronics. Warren Smith, vibes, marimba, drums, timpani, and gongs. Very interesting ensemble. And, well, let's hear the music. I'm going to just stop talking. Graham Haynes is in the studio tonight. He's performing Saturday with Adam Rudolph's Go Organic Orchestra in Central Park Summer Stage. Big, beautiful, outdoor.
Yeah, as a part of the World Music Institute.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a World Music Institute production, I guess, happening at Summer Stage.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. They've been doing great work for a long, long time. It's very exciting to me that is going to be on that. What better stage is there? Right in the middle of the heart of New York City in Central Park. And also the 15th at Jazz Gallery, duet with Adam Rudolph. Do you like to say duet, duo?
Duo.
Duo?
Yeah.
Don Cherry used to say duet. He loved the word duet. Talk about him and Blackwell was a duet. But duo's good too. Dynamic duo. Graham Haynes and Adam Rudolph. And then with Vijay Iyer's Trio, September 16th, 17th. It's a big month, man. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Right now, Bill Dixon, Tapestry for Small Orchestra, featuring cornet and electronics. Our guest, Graham Haynes. Deep Focus. I'm Mitch Goldman. It's WKCR. You know, Graham, when I talk over music, it can only mean one thing. We are...
the end is nigh.
It is, man. Other things will happen. Good things, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
Just not with us.
Not today. Not tonight.
This has been a treat, man. If you're just tuning in, you screwed up bad. But I'm going to make it up to you in two different ways. Three ways. First, I'm going to tell you that the show's called Deep Focus. I'm the host, Mitch Goldman. Had the great pleasure of having Graham Haynes here with me, and our dedicated attention to Bill Dixon, leader of this ensemble, which you, Graham, are playing on. That's one. Two, I'm going to make it up to you, listener who tuned in late, by telling you can hear the show next week. This is going to be up on the Deep Focus podcast. It's free. No advertising. No money, no nothing. It's you can get it on your right there in your pocket. And the third way I'm going to make it up for you, I'm going to give you not one, not two, but 3 ways to hear Graham playing live in the next week or so. The 10th, this Saturday, Graham Haynes is going to be playing Summer Stage with Adam Rudolph's Go Organic Orchestra, also on the bill, Brooklyn Raga Massive. You and Adam Rudolph, Graham, are going to be playing duo concert at the Jazz Gallery, another fantastic venue.
On the 15th.
On the 15th. And the 16th and 17th, you're playing with Vijay Iyer Trio at Smoke here on Morningside Heights. Great opportunities to hear you play. And what else can I tell you? Anything we didn't talk about that you got coming up that they should know about?
No, that's it for now. That's it for...
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling my attention. I'm going to fess up. I don't think I've ever really zoned in on Bill Dixon as much as I have this weekend. It's been enlightening. Thank you.
Incredible man, incredible artist. Who I miss him.
It's coming through, and his lessons and wisdom are still being shared with his music and through you.
Yes.
I wish he was still here to bring it too, but it's pretty good second choice.
Thanks so much, Mitch. It's always a pleasure to come here. This is my second home in FM land.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It's always great. And we've done a bunch of these, and everyone's been a banger. So, thank you. All right, we're going to leave you with a little bit of music. Keep it tuned right here. Got headlines and more coming up from the crack WKCR news team. I'm Mitch Goldman. It's Deep Focus. Graham Haynes, thank you for being along.
Thank you. See you next time.